Hello everyone, my name is Rishabh Shukla and today I am going to start unit number 1, that is tuned amplifier. So in tuned amplifier you have to study series resonance circuitry, parallel resonance circuitry, impedance variation of series and parallel resonance circuitry with respect to frequency, okay, quality factor. Apart from that, you have to study single tuned amplifier as well as double tuned amplifier. So before going to start single tuned and double tuned amplifier, I want to discuss the series resonance circuit and parallel resonance circuit. Why? Because the first thing, you have already studied series resonance and parallel resonance circuitry in your network theory course, okay, as well as in your basic physics. So it will be quite easy for all of you. And the second thing is that once you will revisit the topic series resonant and parallel resonance circuitry, impedance variation, all these things, so it is quite easy to use those concepts in single tuned and double tuned amplifier circuitry. Okay, so because single tuned and double tuned amplifier based on the resonance, fine. So the first topic is series resonance circuitry. So let us see the figure 21.2a. In this figure, okay, I have taken a series combination of RLC circuitry. Okay, RS is represented as series resistance of your resonance circuitry. C is the capacitance of your circuitry. While this combination of R coil and L, actually we are dealing with practical inductance. Okay, I'm saying practical inductance, that means inductor has some finite coil resistance which is represented as R coil. Okay, so this is our series resonance circuitry which is excited by a sinusoidal voltage source E, okay, having source resistance Rg. Fine. So now you can see Rg, Rs and R coil are in series, so we can club them together and represent as an equivalent resistance R. Okay, now first of all, you need to calculate the overall impedance looking from these two terminals, this and this. Across these two terminals, you have to find out what is the total impedance. Okay, total impedance looking between these two nodes. So, looking from the voltage source side between these two terminals, what is the total impedance? So, it is nothing but series combination of R, L, and C. Okay, so the total impedance can be represented as ZT is equal to R plus JXL minus JXC. What is XL? XL is equal to omega L, that is reactance of your impedance of your what we can say inductance, pure inductive part. Okay, and XC is what? XC is the capacitance impedance of your capacitance, that is 1 upon omega C. So I would like to just simplify this term, and it can be represented as R plus J. You can take J as a common, it will become XL minus XC. Okay, now as I have told you, XL is equal to omega L and omega is equal to 2 pi f. X is equal to 1 upon omega C, that is 1 upon 2 pi fc. Now the question is, doesn't matter whether it is a series resonance circuitry or parallel resonance circuitry or any complex combination of R, L and C which undergoes in resonance condition. Doesn't matter what kind of connections. Okay, if the circuit is in resonance, then it will be pure resistive circuit. Okay, in resonance the circuit will behave like a pure resistive circuit. That means under resonance circuitry this ZT will become purely resistive. Now look at the expression ZT is equal to R plus J XL minus XC. If I am saying ZT has to be pure resistive, that means its imaginary part should be 0. Pure resistive, that means only resistance part should exist, there should not be any reactance. So that means that this imaginary part has to be 0. So under resonance condition, can I say XL minus XC is equal to 0? If XL minus XC is equal to 0, then I can say ZT is equal to R pure resistive. Okay, this one. So under resonance condition, whatever is the type of circuitry, whether it is a series, parallel or any complex combination of RLC, under resonance condition the overall impedance is always purely resistive or real. Okay, so that means I can say here XL is equal to XC. So XL is equal to XC, that means omega L is equal to 1 upon omega C. XL, that is omega L, is equal to XC, that means 1 upon omega C. So you will simplify it and you will get omega is equal to 1 over under root LC. So it is under the series, under the resonance condition, since this condition exists only under the resonance condition, so the whatever is the frequency calculated here, it is the resonance frequency of your series resonance circuitry. So omega s is equal to 1 upon under root LC. This is the resonance frequency in radian per second for your series resonance circuitry, and omega is equal to 2 pi f. So you can represent the series resonance frequency f is equal to 1 upon 2 pi under root LC. Okay, fine. Now what I am saying, under series resonance circuitry, the impedance ZT is resistive. Okay, ZT is equal to R. So you know, in case of resistance, voltage and current are always in phase. Okay, that means the voltage across the resistance and the current flowing through the resistance, both are always in phase or in same phase. So I can calculate the current value under resonance condition as I is equal to E upon ZT, and ZT is what? Under resonance condition, ZT is equal to R. So it is nothing but E angle 0 divided by R angle 0. Why angle 0? Because I'm just representing this ZT as a what we can say in exponential form, so it will become magnitude R with a phase angle 0. So that means I would like to represent ZT in phasor form as R angle 0. Why angle 0? Because the ZT is purely resistive. Okay, so it's a real number. And E angle 0, why E angle 0? Because in the circuitry I have assumed that I have applied a voltage source E with a phase 0 degree. If suppose the phase has let us suppose 30 degree, then you have to consider, in order to calculate the current, you have to consider here like E angle 30 degree, like that. Okay, so I will become E upon R angle 0 degree, and whatever is the angle here, it will be same as the angle of E, because ZT has 0 degree phase. Okay, under resonance condition. So that means I can say E and I will always under same phase. Okay, same phase. So let us see on the basis of phasor diagram. So this is your real axis, this is your imaginary axis. I am representing voltage along this real axis. Why? Because I have applied a voltage with a phase of 0 degree. So 0 degree phase, that means it will lie on the real axis. Now because of resistance, what is the current? Current is I into R. Okay, just apply the Ohm's law. So in case of resistance, voltage and current are always in the same phase. So that means this blue color I, which represents the current through resistance, it is in same phase with the voltage across this resistance. So that means both are in the same phase. Okay, both are in the same phase. Now what is the voltage? Can I say this current will flow through inductor as well as capacitor? Why? Because see, this is the series combination. Okay, if I am saying I is flowing through R, then definitely I is also flowing through L and C. Okay, if I am saying I is flowing through R, so definitely I is flowing through L and C. So that is why here this I is also flowing through what we can say inductance as well as capacitance. So what is the voltage across inductance? The voltage across inductance is nothing but impedance multiplied by current. And what is the impedance of your inductance? That is j omega L, or we can say omega L angle 90 degree. J means plus 90, minus J means minus 90. So if I am saying the voltage across inductor is nothing but I into XL, or I into ZL, or JIXL. Okay, JIXL, and J represents the 90 degree. Okay, so can I say VL is equal to I into XL multiplied with 90 degree? So that means VL can be represented 90 degree out of phase with respect to I. VL can be represented as 90 degree out of phase with respect to I. So with respect to I, VL is 90 degree out of phase. So along the positive imaginary axis. In the same way, what is the voltage across capacitor? Just apply the Ohm's law. It is I into JC, where JC is the impedance. JC is equal to what? JC is equal to minus J upon omega C. Okay, or we can also say JC is equal to minus JXC. So minus J means minus 90 degrees. So VC is equal to IXC phase minus 90. So that means VC is minus 90 degree out of phase with respect to I. So here we can see this VC is minus 90 degree out of phase with respect to I. So this is your phasor diagram with respect to the voltage. Okay. So now it is not related to C. Now I'm not interested in order to find out the power. Okay, so this is the reactive power total. This is the real power. P is equal to I square into R, while QL and QC are reactive power. Okay, so the unit is volt ampere reactive. Okay, in the same way you can analyze for the inductance case the power is 90 degree out of phase. For capacitance case it is minus 90 degree out of phase, while in case of resistance it is in the same phase. Okay, in the same way you can find out the phasor relation of these power component. Okay, real power, reactive power and apparent power. Fine. So now the next topic is quality factor. What is quality factor? Quality factor is defined as it is the ratio of reactive power with respect to the average power. Reactive power, that means whatever is the power across inductor or capacitor, it is called as reactive power. Okay, under resonance circuit, under resonance condition, okay, under resonance condition, whatever is the power in inductance is it is same, it has the same magnitude as across the capacitance. Fine. So now what is the reactive power? Let us suppose we are considering with inductor. So what is the reactive power? Reactive power is nothing but I square into XL. What is the impedance of your inductor? It is XL, that is reactance. So I square into XL divided by average power. So average power is nothing but real power, and real power will be dissipated only across the resistance. So it is nothing but I square into R. Let me repeat it. Q is equal to reactive power divided by average power. What is reactive power? Reactive power is nothing but it is power across either inductor or capacitor. The power across inductor and capacitor are always in the same magnitude, but what happens? They have opposite sign. They have opposite sign. Now the question is how? You can see in the phases diagram, the reactive power across inductor is I square into XL. The reactive power across capacitor is I square into XC. But in resonance condition, I have told you XL is equal to XC. So that means both have same magnitude. So that is why I am saying in case of reactive power, either you can consider the inductor or you can consider the capacitor. It's your choice. So quality factor Q is equal to reactive power divided by average power. Fine. So reactive power, let us suppose across the, I would like to consider across the inductor. So it is nothing but I square into reactance of inductor divided by average power, which is also called as real power. So it can be represented as I square into R. So I square will get cancelled out. So the quality factor will become XL upon R. And what is XL? XL is equal to omega L. So under series resonance condition, the quality factor can be defined as omega L divided by R. Omega L divided by R. In the same way, if you will consider the capacitance, so the reactive power will become I square into XC divided by I square into R. So it will get cancelled out and ultimately you will get XC upon R. And what is XC? XC is equal to 1 upon omega C. So in this case the quality factor will become 1 upon omega CR. Okay, but it will give the same value. So in case of series resonance, the quality factor under resonance condition is defined as XL upon R is equal to XC upon R is equal to omega L upon R is equal to 1 upon omega CR. Let me repeat it. For a series resonance circuitry under resonance condition, the quality factor is defined as XL upon R, which is equal to XC upon R, which is equal to omega L upon R, and it is same as 1 upon omega CR. Okay. So quite often the inductor of a circuit will have a Q expressed in terms of its reactance and internal resistance. So make sure sometimes the quality factor of the coil is given. Okay, quality factor of the coil is given. Then for the coil, the quality factor is defined as XL upon R coil. That means if I would like to calculate the quality factor of entire circuitry. If you wish to calculate the quality factor of entire circuitry, then you have to consider this R. Okay, that means XL upon R or XC upon R. Here R is nothing but the overall resistance. But if you wish to find out the quality factor of coil, that means only this section. Okay, so in this case the quality factor will become XL divided by the resistance R coil. Okay, XL divided by the resistance R coil. Make sure if you wish to calculate the quality factor of the coil, then it will become only XL divided by R coil. You cannot write as XC upon R coil. Please make sure you can write XL upon R coil but not as XC upon R coil. Make sure for this coil, if you wish to calculate the quality factor, then always try to write XL upon R coil. Okay, so in this way you can find out the quality factor of your coil. Okay, so now just see the basic example. Find the indicated quantities. The circuitry is shown to you. It is asked to find the resonance frequency in omega, and that is in radian per second as well as in hertz. Total impedance at resonance, current at resonance, VL, VC, all these things. So see one by one. R is given as 8 ohm. Okay. Quality factor of the coil, Q coil is given as 50. C is given in 1 microfarad. L is given as 10 millihenry. R coil is unknown to you. But you know what is the quality factor of coil? Q coil is equal to what? Q coil is equal to omega L divided by R coil. Okay. Q coil is what? Q coil is nothing but XL divided by R coil, and XL is what? Omega L. So Q coil is nothing but omega L divided by R coil. So you know L, you know Q coil, but you don't know what is the value of omega, as well as you don't know what is the value of R coil. Okay. So let me first of all find out the frequency. Quality factor is defined only under resonance condition. So you don't know omega, but you can find out omega because circuit is in resonance. If somebody asks you the quality factor, that means you have to assume the circuit is under resonance condition. So in order to find the omega, which is your resonance frequency, frequency. So now what is the resonance frequency? Resonance frequency will become 1 upon under root L into C. Okay. So what is L? L is equal to 10 millihenry, and what is C? C is equal to 1 microfarad. So if you will put the value, you will get omega S is equal to 10 kilo radian per second. Okay. Omega S is equal to 10 kilo radian per second. And if you have to find out F, so F is equal to what? Omega is upon 2 pi, because omega is equal to 2 pi F. So in this way, you can also calculate the frequency in hertz. Fine. Now, total impedance at resonance. You know, under resonance condition, the circuit will behave like a purely resistive. So XL will get cancelled out with XC, and the only term remaining is resistance. So you know what is R, but you don't know what is R coil, because under resonance condition, the total impedance will become R plus R coil. Both are resistive, so R plus R coil. But you don't know what is R coil. What is given? Quality factor of coil. Quality factor of coil, Q coil is equal to omega L upon R coil. And what is omega? Omega is nothing but 10 kilo radian per second, because quality factor is defined only under resonance condition. So under resonance condition, what is the frequency? Frequency is resonance frequency, which is 10 kilo radian per second. So Q coil is equal to omega L divided by R coil, where omega is equal to 10 kilo radian per second. So using this relation, you can find out what is the value of R coil. So R coil is equal to 2 ohm. So once you have calculated the R coil as 2 ohm, what is the total resistance? Total resistance is R plus R coil, that is 8 ohm plus 2 ohm, which is equal to 10 ohm. So under resonance condition, the total impedance is nothing but 10 ohm. Okay, here. So the total impedance, they have asked about total impedance. So you can write the impedance in phasor form as 10 ohm angle 0 degree. Angle 0 degree represents the resistive part. Okay, resistance. That means impedance is purely resistive. Now the next thing, current at resonance. So since the complete circuit will behave like a resistive network which has resistance 10 ohm, so what is the current? Current is equal to V by R, and V is what? 10 volt angle 0 degree. So I is equal to V by R. So I is equal to E by ZT, where E is what? Your voltage, 10 angle 0 degree. And what is ZT? ZT is total impedance under resonance condition, which is purely resistive, of equal to 10. So it will become 10 angle 0. So the current is 1 ampere, or we can also write 1 angle 0 degree. Now the question is, find VL and VC. So this 1 ampere current is flowing through L as well as C. So if somebody asks you what is the voltage across L, so you can find out the voltage across L is equal to what? 100 angle 90 degree. That is the, what I can say, omega L. Okay, so just find out omega L. XL is equal to omega L, so it is nothing but 100 ohm. So it will become 100 angle 90 degree multiplied by 1 ampere. So it will become 100 angle 90 degree. Why 90 degree? Because the voltage VL can be represented as I into ZL, and ZL is what? J omega L. So that J contribute 90 degree. Omega L is equal to 100 ohm, and J will contribute to the 90 degree. So that means J omega L will become 100 angle 90 degree multiplied by current. In the same way, you can also find out VC. So VC is what? VC is equal to minus J XC multiplied by 1 ampere, and Xc is equal to XL because of resonance. Under resonance condition, XL is equal to Xc. So if XL is equal to 100 ohm, then Xc is also equal to 100 ohm. So Vc will become minus jXc multiplied by I. So I is equal to 1 ampere, Xc is equal to XL is equal to 100 ohm, and because of minus j, you will get a phase of minus 90 degree. So in this way, you can calculate the value of Vc. Fine. So reactive power QC and QL. So you can calculate I square into XL, I square into XC. In the same way you can find out. Okay. The quality factor QS of the circuit. So quality factor QS is what? Total reactive power divided by real power. So you can find out. It's very simple. What is reactive power? QL is equal to I square into XL. QC is equal to I square into XC, and XL is equal to XC is equal to 100 ohm. You know, under resonance condition. So the total reactive power in inductor is I square, that is 1 ampere square, into XL. XL is 100 ohm. So it is 100 volt ampere reactive. In the same way, reactive power across capacitor is I square into Xc, and I is equal to 1 ampere. So 1 ampere square multiplied by Xc, and Xc is equal to XL is equal to 100 ohm. So this is 100 volt ampere reactive. Now, what is the real power P? The real power P is equal to I square into R. I square into R. And what is R? R is total resistance, which is nothing but 10 ohm. So I square into R is I square, that is 1 ampere square multiplied by 10 ohm. So which is nothing but 10 watt. So QS is equal to reactive power divided by real power, which is 100 volt ampere reactive divided by 10 watt. So the quality factor of the complete circuitry will become 10. Okay, so in this way you can find out these parameters. Okay, so in the examination this type of question may be asked. Okay, so now impedance of a series resonance circuit. So we would like to look at the variation of impedance with respect to the frequency. Okay, so impedance variation with respect to frequency, just see, impedance can be represented as R plus JXL minus JXC. Okay, R plus JXL minus JXC. So just put the value XL is equal to omega L and XC is equal to 1 upon omega C. So it will become R plus, take J as a common, omega L minus 1 upon omega C. So that means it will become omega square LC minus 1 divided by omega C. Okay, take LCM, it will become omega square LC minus 1 upon omega C. So now I would like to represent the magnitude as well as phase. So magnitude of ZT is equal to what? Under root real part square, that is R square, plus imaginary part square, that means omega square LC minus 1 upon omega C whole square. And what is the phase? Phase is nothing but tan inverse imaginary part upon real part. So this is your phase. Now let us try to analyze the condition. So now under resonance condition, omega square is equal to 1 upon LC. So that means omega square LC will become unity. So 1 minus 1 will become 0. So ultimately ZT will become R. ZT will become R. Why? Because this factor will become 0. Okay. And what about phase? Phase will become 0 degree. Why? Because this term will become 0. Okay. So in that case, at resonance condition, at resonance frequency omega S, okay, ZT will become R with a phase degree of 0 degree. So in the graph it is represented here. At omega S, the impedance ZT will take a value R while the phase will become 0 degree. Now look at case when the operating frequency is less than resonance frequency. When operating frequency is less than resonance frequency, then we can say omega is very much less as compared to 1 upon under root LC. In other way, what I'm saying, if omega is very much less than resonance frequency omega S, what is omega S? Omega S is equal to 1 upon under root LC. If I am saying omega is less than omega S, that is omega is less than 1 upon under root LC. So can I say omega square is very less as compared to 1 upon LC? If so, so that means omega square LC will be very much less as compared to 1. Okay, so that means we can neglect omega square LC as compared to 1. Here omega square LC can be neglected as compared to 1. So that means ZT can be approximated as 1 under root R square plus 1 upon omega C whole square. r square plus 1 upon omega c whole square. So that means zt can be approximated as under root r square plus 1 upon omega square c square. That is zt is equal to under root r square plus 1 upon omega square into c square. As long as you are going to reduce the value of omega, if you will reduce the value of omega, what happens to 1 upon omega square? It will increases rapidly. See, if you are reducing the omega, that is omega is tending towards the 0, what happens to 1 upon omega square? It will rapidly increases. So that means in the term under root r square plus 1 upon omega square c square, the term omega 1 upon omega square c square increases rapidly. So that is why zt will also increases as long as you are going to reduce the value of omega. Okay. Now what happens to the phase? What happens to the phase? See, this can be represented, this omega square lc can be neglected with respect to 1. So ultimately theta can be approximated as tan inverse minus 1 upon omega rc. So it can also represented as theta is equal to minus tan inverse 1 upon omega rc. Tan inverse minus x is what? Minus tan inverse x. So theta is what? Minus tan inverse 1 upon omega rc. Now if I am saying omega, you are reducing the value of omega, what happens to the total term 1 upon omega rc? In 1 upon omega rc, if you will reduce the omega, so what happens to the 1 upon omega rc? It will increase. So that means theta will also increase. Okay, theta will also increase. So that can be seen by here. If we will reduce the omega, what happens to the zt? Zt will increase. If we will reduce the omega, what happens? Omega s will increase, but in the negative direction, because minus tan inverse. Okay, so it will increase in negative direction. So let us see what are the extreme values. What are the possible extreme value? Now what happens when omega is reduced towards the 0 value? What is the minimum possible value of a frequency? That is 0. So theta is equal to minus tan inverse 1 upon omega rc. Okay, if omega is equal to 0, that means theta is equal to minus tan inverse 1 upon 0, which is minus tan inverse infinity, or I can say theta is equal to minus 90 degree. Fine. Now zt is what? Zt is equal to 1 under root r square plus 1 upon omega square c square. If I am saying omega is equal to 0, what happens to 1 upon omega square c square? It will become infinity. If you will add infinity in r square, what happens to the total result? It will become also infinity. So that means at omega is equal to 0, zt will become infinity, while theta will become minus 90 degree. So it is represented over here at omega is equal to 0, zt will become infinity and omega will become minus 90 degree. Okay, now let us talk the case when omega is very much greater than omega s. When the omega is very much greater than omega s, what happens? In that case, omega squares, apply the same analogy over here. Omega is greater than omega s, that means omega is greater than 1 upon under root lc. Or I can also write omega square is far greater than 1 upon lc. So that means omega square lc is very much greater than 1. So you can neglect this one over here. So the result will become zt is equal to under root r square plus omega square lc divided by omega c whole square. Okay, so simplify, if you will simplify, you will see zt is equal to under root r square plus some term which has omega square in the numerator, So that means if you will increase the omega, what happens to zt? Zt will also increase. Okay, if omega is equal to infinity, zt will become infinity. Now let us see the theta. Theta is equal to tan inverse this term omega square lc minus 1 upon omega rc. So you know omega square lc is very much greater than 1, so you can neglect the 1. Now this omega and c will get cancelled out, so ultimately you will get theta is equal to tan inverse within the bracket some term which has omega in the numerator. Okay, omega in numerator. So as long as you are going to increase the omega, theta will also increase. Now what is the extreme possible value of frequency? Infinity. At omega is equal to infinity, theta will become tan inverse infinity, which is plus 90 degree. So in this way we can say if we will increase the frequency, it will also increase and moving towards the infinity, and the frequency phase will become plus 90 degree. Now the only thing is that how to decide whether it is a capacitive or inductive. So I'm just I will just explain this term why it is capacitive, and I hope you can analyze why it is inductive. Okay, so now see how to decide. So for deciding the nature, let us take this one. Let us take this one. Or okay, what I am saying, under resonance condition, that is at omega is equal to omega s, omega L will become 1 upon omega c. Omega L will become 1 upon omega c. So now what I can say, at omega is equal to omega s, this term will become 0 at omega s. So below omega s frequency, when the omega is less than omega s, definitely this term will be non-zero. This term will be non-zero. Now my question is कि ओमेगा एस पे अगर ये टोटल टर्म आपका जीरो है तो ओमेगा इज लेस देन ओमेगा एस के लिए ये टर्म नॉन जीरो होगा. ओके, तो ओमेगा इज इक्वल टू ओमेगा एस पे ये टर्म जीरो था. अब आप बात कर रहे हो ओमेगा लेस देन ओमेगा एस के लिए, दैट मीन्स आपने फ्रीक्वेंसी रिड्यूस की है. फ्रीक्वेंसी रिड्यूस की है तो फ्रीक्वेंसी रिड्यूस करने पे ओमेगा एल और 1 अपॉन ओमेगा सी, इन दोनों में से कौन सा टर्म है जो बढ़ जाएगा? कौन सा टर्म है जो बढ़ जाएगा? ओमेगा एल बढ़ेगा या 1 अपॉन ओमेगा सी? डेफिनेटली 1 अपॉन ओमेगा सी बढ़ेगा. तो अब फिर से मेरी बात सुनिए, ओमेगा एस फ्रीक्वेंसी पे ओमेगा एल और 1 अपॉन ओमेगा सी दोनों एक दूसरे के बराबर थे. लेकिन जैसे ही आप फ्रीक्वेंसी रिड्यूस कर रहे हो 1 अपॉन ओमेगा सी बढ़ रहा है. दैट मीन्स कैन आई से ये टोटल टर्म ओमेगा एल माइनस 1 अपॉन ओमेगा सी नेगेटिव होगा. टोटल टर्म नेगेटिव होगा. सो दैट मीन्स जेटी विल बिकम आर माइनस जे मल्टीप्लाइड बाय सम रियल नंबर. ओमेगा एल माइनस 1 अपॉन ओमेगा सी कुछ नेगेटिव रियल नंबर होगा, लेट अस सपोज माइनस एक्स. ठीक है, माइनस एक्स वेयर एक्स इज अ रियल नंबर. सो आई कैन रिप्रेजेंट जेड टी इज इक्वल टू आर माइनस जे एक्स. तो ये किस तरह का इम्पिडेंस हुआ? ऐसा इम्पिडेंस जिसमें केवल रेजिस्टेंस और कैपेसिटेंस है. तो ये एक तरह से कैपेसिटिव इन नेचर हुआ. इन द सेम वे आई होप यू कैन एनालाइज फॉर द इंडक्टिव केस. ओके, now the bandwidth calculation, power calculation. So you have you know how to calculate the power. The only thing, अगर आप पावर का प्लॉट करोगे तो सेम वे में ऐसा ही प्लॉट आएगा जैसा आप इसके गेन को, वोल्टेज गेन का प्लॉट करो या पावर का प्लॉट करो, बोथ हैव सेम. सो इट हैज़ सम सेलेक्टिविटी. ठीक है, तो बैंडविथ कैसे डिफाइन करोगे? आई थिंक वी शुड मूव डायरेक्टली फॉर द बैंडविथ केस. सो हियर this is not in your syllabus. Okay, so I'm just omitting because it's a network book, so I'm just omitting this part. Just I'm moving towards the bandwidth case. Okay, so for a series resonance circuitry, what you need to remember, or what you need to keep in your mind is half power frequency. The lower half power frequency is minus r upon 2l plus under root r upon 2l whole square plus 1 upon LC. Okay, 1 upon LC. Keep in mind, what is L upon R? L upon R is nothing but time constant of your LR circuit. R upon L is what? Time. L upon R. L upon tau is equal to L upon R, which is the time constant of your LR circuitry. Okay, so can I write this one as omega 1 is equal to minus 1 upon tau plus under root omega 1 is equal to minus 1 upon 2 tau plus under root 1 upon 2 tau whole square plus 1 upon omega 1 upon under root LC whole square. या अगर हम इसको सिंप्लीफाई करें, सो ओमेगा 1 विल बिकम माइनस 1 अपॉन 2 टाउ प्लस अंडर रूट 1 अपॉन 2 टाउ होल स्क्वायर प्लस ओमेगा एस स्क्वायर. लिख सकते हैं ओमेगा एस सीरीज रेजोनेंस फ्रीक्वेंसी है, ओमेगा एस स्क्वायर विल बिकम 1 अपॉन एल सी. सो फिर से सुन लीजिए, ओमेगा 1 विल बिकम माइनस 1 अपॉन 2 टाउ प्लस अंडर रूट 1 अपॉन 2 टाउ होल स्क्वायर प्लस ओमेगा एस स्क्वायर. और जहाँ पर टाउ क्या है? टाउ है आपका टाइम कांस्टेंट फॉर एल आर सर्किटरी विच इज़ नथिंग बट एल अपॉन आर. तो आप चाहे वैसे रिमेंबर रखो चाहे ऐसे. अपर हाफ पावर फ्रीक्वेंसी पूछी जाती है, सो यू नीड टू जस्ट टेक पॉजिटिव साइन ओवर हियर. ओके, सो आप पॉजिटिव साइन ले लोगे. इन द सेम वे यू कैन फाइंड आउट द वैल्यू. ओके, fine. So these are the two half power frequencies. Now if somebody asks you what is the bandwidth, so bandwidth is nothing but the difference between these two frequencies, that is omega 2 minus omega 1. So the bandwidth will become R upon L. Bandwidth will become R upon L. this is the thing you should remember. What is the bandwidth of your series resonance circuitry? The bandwidth of your series resonance circuitry is R upon L, or 1 upon tau, where tau is equal to L upon R. Now the relation, all of you know what is the relation between quality factor and bandwidth. So bandwidth is what? Resonance frequency divided by quality factor, or we can say quality factor Q is equal to resonance frequency divided by bandwidth. So quality factor is what? Quality factor Q is equal to resonance frequency omega s divided by bandwidth. Okay, so this is the relationship which you need to remember in your mind. Okay, so this is all about the series resonance circuitry. Okay, now the next topic is parallel resonance circuitry. There is no need to discuss this one. Okay, so I think parallel resonance circuitry. Okay, so here I have taken the parallel combination of R, L and C. Okay, I have taken the parallel combination of R, L and C. So now just consider this one, RLC circuitry. Okay, so see, there is a one thing you need, you can consider how to convert series combination of L into R into equivalent पैरेलल कॉम्बिनेशन. आप एल आर के सीरीज कॉम्बिनेशन को इंडक्टर और रजिस्टर के सीरीज कॉम्बिनेशन को इक्विवेलेंट इंडक्टर और कैपेसिटर के इंडक्टर और रजिस्टर के पैरेलल कॉम्बिनेशन में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो. ठीक है, बट ये कन्वर्जन या ये चीज़ आपके स्कोप के बियॉन्ड है राइट नाउ आपके सिलेबस के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से. सो आई एम जस्ट गोइंग टू डिस्कस दिस वन. ओके, नाउ फर्स्ट थिंग ये देख लो कि व्हाट इज़ द रेजोनेंस फ्रीक्वेंसी. सबसे पहले आपको क्या करना है, अगर इससे आपसे रेजोनेंस फ्रीक्वेंसी पूछी जाए तो कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है कि आपको टोटल इम्पिडेंस निकालना है. तो टोटल इम्पिडेंस क्या हो जाएगा? दैट इज़ द पैरेलल कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ आर, एल एंड सी. आप वो इम्पिडेंस निकाल लो. उस इम्पिडेंस को निकालने के बाद आप क्या करोगे, उससे उसके रियल पार्ट को सेपरेट कर लोगे और उसके इमेजिनरी पार्ट को सेपरेट कर लोगे. ओके, फिर से सुन लो आप कैसे रेजोनेंस सर्किट निकालोगे. रेजोनेंस फ्रीक्वेंसी किसी भी सर्किट की, चाहे वो सीरीज हो, पैरेलल या कोई भी कॉम्प्लेक्स टाइप का हो, आप कैसे निकालोगे. सबसे पहले आप क्या करोगे, जहाँ पर सोर्स लगा है उस एंड के अक्रॉस आप क्या करोगे, उसका इक्विवेलेंट इम्पिडेंस फाइंड करोगे. पहली चीज़, उस इम्पिडेंस को आप क्या करोगे, रियल पार्ट सेपरेट कर लोगे, इमेजिनरी पार्ट सेपरेट कर लोगे. ओके, थर्ड स्टेप आपको पता है कि रेजोनेंस कंडीशन में कोई सी भी सर्किट हो वो हमेशा प्योरली रेजिस्टिव बिहेव करेगी. इसका मतलब इम्पिडेंस का जो इमेजिनरी पार्ट है वो क्या हो जाना चाहिए, जीरो. तो आप इम्पिडेंस के इमेजिनरी पार्ट को जीरो कर दो, आपको जो फ्रीक्वेंसी निकल कर आएगी दैट इज योर रेजोनेंस फ्रीक्वेंसी. सो अगर आप सॉल्व करते हो तो स्टिल आपको सेम कंडीशन पैरेलल रेजोनेंस में मिलेगी, दैट इज एक्स इज इक्वल टू एक्सएल. दैट मीन्स ओमेगा इज इक्वल टू 1 अपॉन अंडर रूट एल सी. सो आपकी जो रेजोनेंस फ्रीक्वेंसी निकल कर आएगी दैट इज नथिंग बट ओमेगा इज इक्वल टू 1 अपॉन अंडर रूट एल सी. आई एम नॉट कंसिडरिंग द इफेक्ट ऑफ क्वाइल. ओके, क्वाइल के क्वालिटी फैक्टर को हम कंसिडर नहीं कर रहे हैं. हम मानकर चल रहे हैं जो क्वाइल का क्वालिटी फैक्टर है ना वो इनफाइनाइट है. दैट मीन्स उसका आर क्वाइल जीरो है. ओके, फाइन. सो नाउ the everything remains same, the procedure will remain same. You can calculate the voltage in the same way. अगर आप ओम्स लॉ लगाओगे, जैसे आप नॉर्मल सर्किटरी पढ़ते हो वही कॉन्सेप्ट लगा के आप वोल्टेज फाइंड आउट कर सकते हो, करंट फाइंड आउट कर सकते हो, पावर कैलकुलेट कर सकते हो. ठीक है, नाउ द इम्पिडेंस वेरिएशन, ये मैं आपके असाइनमेंट के हिसाब से, असाइनमेंट के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से छोड़ रहा हूँ आपके ऊपर. सो आई विल जस्ट गिव द असाइनमेंट फॉर द पैरेलल रेजोनेंस सर्किटरी. You have to explain how to analyze the variation of impedance with respect to frequency. Okay, that's it. Otherwise, what is the bandwidth? Bandwidth मैंने पहले भी बताया था क्या होता है, 1 अपॉन टाउ. अगर सीरीज RLC की बात करते हो तो टाउ हो जाएगा L अपॉन R. अगर पैरेलल RLC की बात करते हो तो टाउ हो जाएगा टाइम कांस्टेंट ऑफ योर RC सर्किट, दैट इज RC. तो पैरेलल RLC सर्किट के केस में बैंडविड्थ निकल कर आती है 1 अपॉन RC. क्वालिटी फैक्टर क्यू निकल कर आता है. क्वालिटी फैक्टर क्यू पैरेलल रेजोनेंस सर्किटरी के लिए इन्वर्स होता है. अगर हम फॉर्मूला देखें तो फॉर्मूला वाइज एक ट्रिक बताता हूँ. सीरीज रेजोनेंस के केस में क्वालिटी फैक्टर होता है ओमेगा एल अपॉन आर, या हम उसको ऐसे भी लिख सकते हैं 1 अपॉन ओमेगा सी आर. लेकिन अगर हम पैरेलल रेजोनेंस सर्किटरी के लिए लिखेंगे ना तो जस्ट उसका रेसिप्रोकल लिखाएगा, दैट इज आर अपॉन ओमेगा एल या ओमेगा सी आर. अगर हम सीरीज रेजोनेंस के लिए बात करेंगे तो क्वालिटी फैक्टर होगा 1 अपॉन ओमेगा सी आर, दैट इज इक्वल टू ओमेगा एल अपॉन आर. लेकिन अगर हम पैरेलल के लिए बात करेंगे तो आप उसका इन्वर्स लिखो, दैट इज ओमेगा सी आर या आर अपॉन ओमेगा एल. ओके, So this is the quality factor of your parallel resonance circuitry, and the relation between the resonance frequency, bandwidth and quality factor remains same. Quality factor Q is equal to resonance frequency upon bandwidth. ये मैटर नहीं करता कि आपका सीरीज है कि या पैरेलल रेजोनेंस सर्किटरी है. सो दीज थिंग्स यू शुड कीप इन योर माइंड. एंड हाफ पावर फ्रीक्वेंसी निकालने का तरीका वही सेम जो मैंने आपको एक लॉजिक बताया था ना, वन माइनस प्लस माइनस 1/2 टाउ प्लस अंडर रूट 1/2 टाउ होल स्क्वायर प्लस ओमेगा एस स्क्वायर. वही फॉर्मूला यहाँ पर भी लगेगा. बस सीरीज के केस में टाउ को लिखोगे आप L/R, पैरेलल के केस में टाउ को लिखोगे RC. दैट्स इट. ओके. So in the same way you can analyze the parallel resonance circuitry. Now it's your assignment. I will upload it. What in the assignment you need to do, you need to analyze the impedance variation and its phase, magnitude and phase of impedance versus frequency. ये ग्राफ आपको एनालाइज करना है. ओके. थैंक यू.